Alright, I might as well start the recording.
I just realized I can see the that MODSonair gear you have on the wall.
Oh, yes, which is over there. I'll leave it over there. My camera looks crooked. I don't think it's actually crooked, though. I think it's just the almost like a fisheye effect going on here. Maybe it's crooked. I don't know. If I bounce it over there, no, that doesn't help. Nothing helps. I should just. Oh, I gotta leave it that
my
way.
video quality is low. Okay.
Looks fine to me. Although I should make it a little bit smaller. There.
See, now I've heard that Google Docs are going to go to just the desktop app.
I heard something, but I didn't fully understand it, so I was ignoring it. That would be a shame. No, yeah, because that's just something else to install. What did I install down here? What is this thing? Chrome App Launcher. I have a Chrome App Launcher. I don't know why.
Isn't that installed by default now?
I don't remember seeing it installed on any other computers of mine. Just this one.
But yeah, that's going to be annoying, just because one, we use it for the show, and I use it quite a bit in work as well. And I don't want to have like a desktop app open as well.
And my phone. What am I going to do on my phone?
Well, I suppose there'll be an app for it.
Oh well.
Which I suppose on a mobile device kind of makes sense, but for, yeah, desktop I don't want to have to.
Alright, I'm not going to wait anymore. Just going to do this thing. Yep, it's May 11th, 2014. Happy Mother's Day. And you're watching Mods on Air.
2 FPS, 3 RPGs, and 5 sim-type games.
Yeah.
I think you'd be able to come up with one here.
I'm actually pulling this one hard. Ask all the people that need hacks to play Call of Duty.
I can hear you groaning
Oh, yeah.
inwardly every time Sin's mentioned. You're just cringing. Oh.
The sound went away.
It seems alright to me. Anyway, hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to episode 425 of Mods on Air, bringing you the weekend gaming news as modders, developers, and gamers ourselves. I'm Foilman, and also on the show today we have with us Welshie. Happy Mother's Day, Welshie.
Hello. I'm by myself. Look at all the room I've got down here.
Yeah, I know. And also on the show today we have with us
Nobody. Wall.
Yeah, I don't know where everyone else went. They said they'd be here. They lied. But we'll have a show anyways. There could still be some adult language or themes, although we may not act like adults. And it could be, we got some stuff to talk about. Stick around. I think you'll like some of the things we have here. That's enough. Head over to modsonair.com website if you want to see all the last episodes, shows, notes about these shows, notes about, you know,
Other shows.
Yep, and my shopping list.
My shopping list, which is just gummy bears.
The kind that you should not eat more than 7 of.
No. Yeah, we all know where that joke's going.
All right, so I hope you don't use antivirus, because apparently, according to Symantec, antivirus is of no use to anyone. It doesn't work. They can't keep up with all the viruses.
Well, I could have told you that.
Of course. Well, there's like antivirus is dead because, yeah, like they can't. There are so many viruses, so many things going on that they can't stop the attacks. So,
yeah.
Didn't they give a percentage in here on how many attacks they can have? 40%. No, that 40% makes up the company's revenue.
What I think I do know about this is if you use, say, Microsoft-based products like Security Essentials, for example, you may as well just not even have that installed. That is just so bad.
Right.
I believe I saw that it ranked the worst out of, if you go from, say, I don't know, some of the major ones pick up 50 to 60% of infected files. Security Essentials missed virtually all of them, and did like
Okay.
10%. So if you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, I got Security Essentials, yeah, you're not protected.
You know what I use? Nothing.
Yeah.
And anytime I open up a website that I'm not sure about, incognito, or if I'm really not sure about an email or a file and I feel like I need to open it, I go to virtual PC.
Yeah.
And then I don't care what happens in the virtual PC because I can just delete it later.
Yeah, the thing is, as long as you're, fairly intelligent about what you open and where you go, you don't need, like, any idiot can kind of see that, oh, I'm the millionth viewer. Don't click on that.
You do a lot of IT work. So here's a question for you. Would you say most of your job makes up fixing things because of viruses or people opening things like this? Or is it because people don't know how to use a piece of software that they should know how to use?
The first one. By a massive amount.
Because I would think that it could almost be overwhelmed by the idea that people are contacting you because they forgot how to open their email or something like that.
No, actually, usually or at least in the last 3 or 4 weeks, like 90% of my day has been spent virus issues because users have opened things. Which is kind of the thing of like, well, you really, it's 2014, you really should have some basic knowledge of viruses and spam emails.
And you should know who's contacting you, and if you don't...
Well, yeah, and you should know that some Nigerian general doesn't have $1 million to give you.
Just temporarily. He wants you to hold it.
You just hold it for a couple of days, and then he's going to deposit like 15% of it into your bank account. But I'll
he's
leave
going to leave.
Details right now.
He's going to leave 15% of it in your bank account. Okay.
Joking about bitcoins, but I'm not gifted enough to think about it.
No, that's there's even some government agencies and places that you can use bitcoins as like real transactions. It's nuts. Well, power to them. Here's an interesting one. Killing Floor. That's not a picture of Killing Floor. I don't have a picture. Killing Floor 2 has been revealed. And I guess this is very different than the other Killing Floor that we saw, the latest one, which was a Unity-made Ouya game.
It was a top-down sort of point-and-click, wasn't it?
Right. Which I would have played if it was on the PC, but they didn't do that. They should have.
This is full Killing Floor 2?
Well, I think so, because the video that they put out for it is extremely vague.
I found an article on, was it PC Gamer or something? No, IGN, one of them. Might have been PC Gamer, I can't remember. That actually they had a preview of it.
Okay.
They got to play.
I was suggesting in another chat window somewhere that we should contact them and let them know that we love the game so much that we'd be willing to help.
We lead the progress of bioengineering. We are the vision of technology.
What I was actually, I wonder if we can get them on the show.
I'm sure we could.
Well,
They seemed like none.
We would talk to them for quite some time during PAX.
That's right. So this game, this preview really is just like watching a Resident Evil commercial.
Yeah, except it makes sense, and nobody's got weird floppy hair. I'm actually excited. I'm a tiny bit excited, just because of the fun we had with the first game.
Yeah.
It's genuinely a game that I will buy on the strength of the first game, with no questions asked.
I would too. And
I were doing it.
A game like this is going to come out for like $30 or less, which will be amazing, and we'll be like, how can you pass that up?
I don't know that it's on the new Unreal Engine though, which isn't necessarily the worst thing ever. But
well, there's no gameplay videos, but this was also announced on Beyond Unreal, which makes me think it could be. But then again, they could just be following up on it because it was originally on an Unreal Engine.
Well, I'm looking at it on the PC game. They have screenshots, and it does kind of look like UT3. I mean, I could be wrong, because it is kind of it could be 4.
I can't find it.
If you follow the link in the chat window.
Yeah, I jumped over to something else, the Beyond Unreal thing, and that didn't help. Now I gotta look at an advertisement, and now I can join. It's annoying. All right. I don't know. It could be, might not be. They've definitely upped the ante as far as graphics go. Like this, where you have some more actual specularity and bump mapping going on as opposed to just flat graphics. So it could end up being a shiny version.
Yeah, the characters do look a little bit shiny.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I mean, we had a lot of fun with the first one.
We also don't know when it's going to be released or even close to release, do we?
No.
We don't even have a year.
I'm just skimming through this.
It doesn't say anything.
No.
Well, speaking of Unreal, did you notice this other one where Unreal Tournament? They're making a new version of Unreal Tournament and it's going to be released for free. So it's like they're taking the game that they already have.
At least it's free.
And theoretically rebuilding it. For all we know, they're not rebuilding anything. They're just releasing it again.
Unreal Tournament always just kind of made me want to throw up. It was just too...
I always wanted to like it.
Yeah, it's that one game that you feel like you should, because it was like a big part of gaming history kind of thing. But I just never did. I just always thought it was kind of meh.
Yeah, I didn't like it that much either.
But I didn't really... maybe that's because I didn't get into playing it when it was kind of in its prime, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
Perhaps the best part about it, which didn't hold my attention for very long, was the idea that you could play multiplayer with bots.
Yeah.
But even that became quite boring. And maybe that's why it became boring, is because you'd always jump in with bots and then you'd lose interest.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't really get into it. I guess maybe I just missed the time that it was like, oh, you got to play this game, because it was like UT 2003 or whatever it was the kind of you got to jump in and play this.
I'm trying to think of when it was really popular, and it was after the original Half-Life.
Yeah, I want to say like,
but just before Call of Duty 1.
Like 2002, 3 maybe.
I was going to say in the 90s.
Oh, maybe with the original one.
No, you know what? It's not the 90s. You're right. It must have been like 2000, early 2000, very early 2000s.
Yeah, maybe like in 2000 exactly. I don't really remember. Because I know probably Ham would have been all over this. I don't really know.
Well, it says here that they have some Unreal Tournament veterans that are working on this.
That just makes me think of like crazy old guys in nursing homes. Yes, I was an Unreal Tournament veteran.
It made me think of that movie Battleship, where they go to they get the old retired Navy guys. Can you help us do fight your old ship?
But they don't even remember what their names are half the time.
Come on, Sonny, we'll show you how it's done.
Yeah, bring like the truck full of medicine and pills. We're gonna need that. You better bring that.
Get my donut seat.
Halfway through the fight, nap time.
Nobody calls nap time. It just happens.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, Killing Floor 2 will be on Unreal 3.
Okay. Good. All right. We also have this other thing that I noticed, which is, I don't know if it's ironic or not, Battlefield 4 community test environment. In other words, they are going to create a version or an area of Battlefield 4 where the community can go in and test fixes before they're released. So
they're going to do what, like the MMO thing, right? Where they have like a test server or beta server, whatever you want to call it, and you can jump in there and you're told, you're warned it's going to be unstable and it's probably going to break, but you can try out the new stuff for us.
Can it be any more obvious that they don't know what they're doing?
Yeah. Yes, it could. They could admit.
This is nothing more than, I'm sorry, everybody, stop yelling at us. Here, we'll let you approve it before we release it then.
Literally, we don't know how to fix our game.
And then when the community yells at them for releasing something that they approved, it's just going to backfire. We give up.
Good. Yeah. It's just almost like they don't know how to fix it and they just don't kind of care anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just one guy in the back of the office that's going to be monitoring this, and he'll get like 18,000 emails an hour.
That's what it is. You know what? I can see it now. The one guy in the back room working on the game, trying to fix it, releasing releases, and then the community yells at them, and then the big boss comes in and says, "Community is yelling at you. What are you doing wrong? Cut it out." He's like, "Oh, I don't know what to do."
I don't know. That is literally our game's broken. We don't really know how. Please tell us how. Jesus Christ.
I'm already working weekends.
So, and nights. And just all the time. I live here. See, I understand it in an MMO game that you do this because you have such a broad kind of code environment and a broad server environment that you kind of want people in there and trying to break it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's MMO players, so they will kind of revolt if you break something too much. But in a first-person shooter, this shouldn't ever be necessary.
No.
Never. You know what this really should have been? Q&A before they even released it.
We fired the Q&A staff. We need your help.
It's free Q&A team. Hey, like a really good idea, right? Watch this. This will be cool. We'll put it up, and we'll get them to test it. And here's the best part, right? We don't have to pay anything to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll find all the problems and feel like they're helping. And then what we'll do, right, is just not fix anything. But we'll put up some more maps. That'll sort them out.
Jeez. We'll just re-release Wake Island. Then everyone's happy.
I hate that map. Am I the only one that hates it?
You're the only one. You know why? Because every time, once they release that for the latest version, it's on every server 24/7.
I just hate it. It's a horrible map. It's like little islands, and if you can't secure like a boat or a helicopter, you're fucked. You're just stuck on this little island.
Only once was it ever a good map, and that's when they put it in Titan mode.
Yeah. Then it was good because...
There was something about it.
Yeah, no, I think it was because that game mode just promoted co-op really well.
Yeah, I guess so.
But any other, just no. Please, God, not more Wake Islands.
They're gonna have to bring that back. They're gonna have to bring them back that 2142 feel now that they have Advanced Warfighter on Call of Duty coming, right?
Oh. Was this announced this week or last week? I can't remember.
Week.
We didn't talk about it, did we?
Last week we did.
Did we? Okay, I just don't remember that. Oh, no, we did, yeah. Okay,
it was in the list.
Yeah, no,
we talked about a lot of stuff, yeah, so that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, well, there is also word that Infinity Ward, who worked on Call of Duty versions, is merging with Neversoft.
Oh, God.
I don't know what Neversoft has done.
I remember them doing Tony Hawk games. Like Pro Skater.
What else? Spider-Man on PlayStation. Yeah. Every Tony Hawk there was. Guitar Hero.
Oh, God. So you think you hated Call of Duty now?
And apparently they did Extinction Mode on Call of Duty Ghosts. So that explains the merge.
Okay. Oh, Neversoft is becoming part of Infinity Ward, not the other way around.
Right.
I thought it was the other way around.
This is sort of what happened to Sledgehammer, I guess.
Yeah.
Except Sledgehammer wasn't acquired; they became the third.
But like, what have Neversoft done recently other than that? Call of Duty.
Call of Duty Ghosts, and in 2010, 3 years before that, Guitar Hero. That's it.
Oh, so they just did the Extinction.
They've been doing Guitar Hero for 3 years.
So, in other words, they're
And then Tony Hawk for the years before that. 6 years before that.
Are panicking and going, shit, we don't really know what to do with this next game.
Well, apparently 6 years of Tony Hawk will get you a job.
Yeah, apparently.
If it doesn't work the first time, keep trying.
Actually, you know what that says to me? Is the next Call of Duty will have some sort of zombies/alien mode, and these guys are going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like that.
Either that or it'll be a completely separate...
Who's left in Infinity Ward? I thought they kept like firing and losing people, so maybe they needed to fill the ranks, and they swallowed up Neversoft somehow. I don't know. All right. I guess it's not a big loss unless you're a huge Tony Hawk fan.
Well, they haven't made one for ages.
I know, I see that.
Because the last one was so terrible.
Mm. But, you know, there's other music games that are coming up here. We have Harmonix, which we've talked about in the past. I don't remember what else they made. But there was something that they were working on. Wasn't there was a version of, like, playing guitar along with, like, real guitar? I forgot what that game was called.
Where you, like, plugged your guitar into it.
Yeah. Like a Guitar Hero series. Harmonix is best known for Dance Central, Rock Band, and Guitar Hero. So I guess it was one of those.
But this just looks...
This is, well, it's a mobile game. Of course it looks weird. It's called Record Run. And what they're saying is that it'll play like existing tunes that you have. I don't know, I was going to get a Strider's view on this, since he enjoys music type games. Doesn't mean he's going to want to play a game on his phone, but for all we know, he would enjoy something like this.
I feel like there's some sort of tragic irony about like chasing records down the street. There's some sort of like subtle context for the music industry.
This is apparently one of the songs that they chose to play.
Can you play like your phone ringtones?
I guess so. Dodge obstacles. It's a typical runner.
Oh, that's...
And while you're playing, everything in the streets is dancing to the music. You might even be running to the beat.
This has already annoyed me for one reason. Pop-up boxes that keep appearing that goes the tips, like jump over obstacles.
Yeah.
And it like gets in the way of the screen. That's already annoying me because if this is on a mobile screen, that's like all of your screen covered.
This is gonna be hot for a week. It'll be a hot game, just for a little while. Rock Band is also trying to do something. They hit over to Kickstarter for this one.
What?
Yeah.
But it's Rock Band.
Yeah. Which also, you know what? Which also has me confused. What? Let's see. What did Neversoft do?
A good point.
Didn't we just say that Neversoft worked on Rock Band? Let me review that real quick. No, Guitar Hero. Okay. Who did work on Rock Band? But one ago was Harmonix. So I don't know how the Rock Band team, unless they're, well, why not? They could make a mobile game and go to Kickstarter for something else, making an Amplitude.
Well, no,
game
they
Amplitude.
shouldn't though.
Oops, wrong one. This one.
Like
they
if this is,
yeah.
If this is you know, the Harmonix or whoever's doing it, Rock Band, who's actually doing the Kickstarter thing. Doesn't say. But either way, why do they? This Rock Band, they shouldn't require funds. This is exactly what like Strider talks about, where it's the panhandling of oh, we can just fund our game for absolutely nothing, and we don't have to spend any money, even though we've got quite a bit of money from, you know, the fucking Rock Band games we made, which were insanely popular.
You know, these studios make just enough to throw the money away.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. You should not have an image. If you're doing Kickstarter, right, you should not have on your Kickstarter page amazing reviews from, say, I don't know, IGN, Eurogamer, GameSpot. If they think it's amazing, you should already have the funds you need. Because you go and you talk to an investment company or you talk to a publisher and you get picked up.
Listen to the title of the article. Rock band team hits Kickstarter to fund a remake of its cult classic Amplitude.
Oh my god. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, there is no reason why the studio can't just do this themselves.
Yeah.
Other than they want to do it for free, and well, not for free, but they don't want to spend any money.
They want $750,000 to do it. To remake a game.
Modders could do this for free by themselves.
They probably have.
Yeah. Although I imagine actually probably a bit of that, quite a large chunk of that money will be spent on licensing for songs.
Mm-hmm. Could be. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that part. That's the problem. They should make it so you play from your own library.
But, like, that's still a ridiculous amount of money. For something that they really, I mean, alright, they probably don't have $250,000.
Mm.
But, you know, it doesn't cost $250,000 to make that remake.
No, hey, yeah, remake, okay. Gotta use, not make, but remake.
No, remake something.
It's not from the ground up, it's already been done and proven.
That is literally the virtual panhandling right there. That's a perfect example.
Well,
and there's probably people watching this going, no, because you see that, but I disagree.
And what happens in the end is they get all their money and they perhaps don't get enough. $750,000 was not quite enough. So I don't know if we're going to be able to produce exactly what you thought we were going to produce, but it's too bad because you already gave us your money. Hence, Earth Year 2066 on Steam, who's now forcing Steam to give refunds to people because they're not producing what they said they'd produce.
If it was on Kickstarter, why is it on Steam?
Isn't that part of the Greenlight thing?
Oh, okay. I thought it was on. Just by the way you said that, I thought it was
early access. Because they were selling early access on Steam.
Wait, through Kickstarter or through Greenlight, or just by themselves?
Wow. Do I even know that part? I don't know.
Because it does kind of make a difference. Like if you're on Kickstarter, you shouldn't be on Steam. You could be on Steam after you've been on Kickstarter.
I don't know. That's a great question.
But then, in my mind, if you're good enough to get funded via Kickstarter, then you kind of shouldn't really need to be selling. Well, no, I suppose because you could. That's kind of not fair. You'd have to.
It is related to Greenlight, though. But I'm not sure how the whole thing works. I refuse to get involved in Greenlight.
No, I also do not.
One of the biggest problems with Greenlight, you better not hope to get a real publisher because you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
What are my games actually as a publisher now?
I do notice that that announcement for the refunds on that was made by a Valve employee.
Yes, because Valve's the one that's doing the refunds, not them.
It's actually it's not. So it's not even the developer's decision to pull it or anything. It's actually yeah.
All right, moving over to talking about Nintendo. Nintendo's having a really bad year. They've apparently not done as well as they said they might do in their quarterly financials. But they said, that's okay. We expect to do better next month or next quarter.
Geez. Is it because, right, they keep making fucking Mario games?
They only made one. Why would they make more?
Like, it's almost like Nintendo have got to the point where they're just outright refusing to make anything else now.
What's funny is last quarter,
Zelda games.
Last quarter they were down also, and they said, that's okay, we'll do better next quarter.
Oh, and Super Smash Bros. Don't forget that, which contains. Oh, look, Mario. Like talking about just absolutely milking a character or a franchise to death.
I did not buy the Wii U. I'm thankful. I know one person that bought it. That's it.
Did he say it was good?
I don't know. I didn't ask. I know actually another person that bought it, and the next day returned it.
Yeah, that tells you quite a lot then. I just don't. They have to do something new. Like the continuation of Mario, I suppose Pokemon as well. But like when your entire user base is built up of the same like 3 games over and over again for an entire console, it's just.
Yeah, well, they say that the handheld department that they have going on is working out, which is the 3DS. Last fiscal year, they sold 12 million 3DSs. Certainly not in the United States.
No.
Where? Because they said that's just shy of 43 million globally. I don't know what that means.
But then is that back to the internal estimate thing where it's like, yeah, we sold, all these retail stores, but they never sold them.
No, they buried them in a landfill somewhere in Texas or Arizona.
Because I distinctly remember the 3DS coming out, and I was working in a retail store at the time that was selling them. And me and this other guy kind of got accidentally on purpose, were volunteered to be like the store's reps for them. So we just kind of sat there for 5 minutes and read this like little booklet they gave us, and I kind of flipped through it and went, yeah, just do it over, and it's like, yeah, whatever. And we sold like 2 in the entire, like nobody cared.
Yeah, I remember that now.
And I went, it was a game in the UK. This is back when I was still living there, and it's kind of just GameStop, right? And I went across the street and asked, hey, you guys, how many of these have you sold? And they were like, oh, like 5 of them. He's like, how many did you have? He's like, about 300. It's like, it just didn't sell.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I never liked the Wii, so.
Oh, that damn! Don't even talk about that catalog day.
Catalog day.
I have like Vietnam style flashbacks.
Well, they say somebody else has come up with this idea of rebuilding the NES in a single piece of aluminum. And offering it. $500.
Christ.
And genuine NES guts. Go on those cartridges. $500 for something from what year? I will say that Nintendo had something good back then.
They did. Like, you can't deny that it was a great console. One of the things that I loved about it was you could get a cartridge that had like an adapter on the top of it, and you could put Game Boy games in it. And play the Game Boy games on your big TV.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome. Because then, like, you play Pokemon or whatever, and you have people around, and you just plug that in, and you all sit there and take a turns to play Pokemon.
Yeah.
You don't have to crowd around this tiny little screen. It was just cool. But now, when you can get like an emulator of that for free, and play all the games on your nice comfy, like it just.
Yes. You know what? That's actually, it reminds me of something. You talk about the emulator. I decided to finally, after years and years, box up all my old games, all my boxed games. I had lots and lots of boxed games. We're talking about Half-Life 1, Soldier of Fortune 1, Unreal Tournament, the original, and that kind of stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to play these again. And if I ever do decide to play them, I'll just repurchase them digital form.
You're not. That's the thing, though. You're not. You do the thing that I do, where I look through my like Steam game list or whatever, and I go, "Oh, I remember playing that like years ago. It was awesome." And then I like install it and play it for like 5 minutes, and I go, "Oh, this isn't as good as I remember."
So it's all in a box.
About, like, it's all about like the context of the time that you were playing it.
Shelf space could be used for something else. I did save a couple, but you know, those are like the collector type editions. I'm trying to look at what I saved. I saved the Call of Duty box with the flask, the Fallout lunch box, because that's kind of neat
the
looking.
radioactive flask that says do not drink.
Yeah. And the Star Trek Online, which is a horrible game, but it came with the lapel pin.
The tagline for that game should have been, "Hey, do you love load screens? Because we do."
Do you like to read?
Like, holy I've never seen, to this day, I've never seen so many load screens in one game. Like, and I played the original, what was it? Stalker, I think, had quite a long load time on it. I couldn't take read all that dialogue that was going on between characters. You know, I start reading it for a while, for a little while, and then eventually I'm just like skip. Yes, go. It's okay. Yeah. But it's just when you walk down a car, you do that. So you talk to somebody for like 5-10 minutes of all this like boring. And you're just like, and I'm not even really a Star Trek fan, so my interest is already, you know, at a kind of low point. And then I'm just like, oh god, so I just start skipping through it, and then I go through it one door and it's load screen. I'm like, okay, well I went through a door, so fine. And it loads, and it takes a minute or two, and it loads, and then I walk down one corridor, I do nothing in said corridor. I get to the end of the corridor, go through another door, load screen. Oh, Jesus Christ. And then I go outside, and then a guy talks to me for 2 minutes, and it's like a bit of a cutscene, and then load screen. And it was just horrible. It was just like, oh my god.
All right, Crysis. Apparently somebody has put together, which I can't find a mod. All I can find are screenshots of this 8K resolution for Crysis.
Jesus.
So it must only be screenshots. It must not be a mod, because there's only 4K resolution monitors, not 8K resolution monitors.
Or is it that it just makes the system that it's running on so slow that you just can't? All you can do is take screenshots because you can't move.
Is it worth it? Is it worth it for the art? No, I don't know.
It's kind of cool, I guess, but then if you can't find anywhere to download it, is it just not out yet? Have they not released it, or is it just?
I don't. It's called a hack. So it might be like type this in and do this, and then you can have it in higher resolution. But then where do you get the higher resolution textures?
Yeah. I remember there was something for the first Crysis where you could dial up the texture resolution by just kind of. It was editing a config file, but I don't. But then if the 8K textures are in the game, why is it not just an option?
They say the NVIDIA GeForce GTX Titan is barely good enough to run it on 3 displays simultaneously, because that's what you need. That's a $3,000 card, isn't it?
I think it might be.
Yeah. Which makes sense, because you can't find an 8K screen, which I just got finished saying.
Yeah, I would hazard a guess that there's no kind of video is because it's just you can literally just stand there and take screenshots because it's so laggy. To the point of you may even have to like go to where you want to take a screenshot, save with the lower resolution textures, then load it back up with the. And to be honest, it doesn't look all that much different. It looks good. Like.
All right. You remember the TV series Lost?
Somewhat, yes.
Do you remember which I think it's okay for spoilers on that? Do you remember what the directors or the writers finally said that Lost the Island was supposed to be?
It was like, spoiler alert. It was all. It was purgatory, wasn't it? That they were all.
Yeah.
I have a thing about that, which I swear, because I didn't really watch it. I watched like 2 or 3 of the first episodes, and then I think I watched the last episode when it was, because everybody was going on about, oh, it's ending.
Yeah.
So, but I swear I knew that from the beginning. Like, I swear that was part of the, you were just told that. And people look at me when I say that, and they're like, no, that was like the big twist. And I'm just, are you sure?
I don't remember what I felt when they said it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I gave up.
Well, neither did I, because it's ironic that it's called Lost, because I just didn't know what the hell was going on sometimes. So I just stopped. I maybe watched like 3 or 4 episodes, like the first 2 or 3. But I swear I already knew that.
Well, apparently that is the backstory of Goat Simulator. That the goat is in purgatory.
God. Oh, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually kind of funny.
I don't really fully understand it, I guess, because I haven't played enough Goat Simulator.
Now, what that is, right, is somebody went, hey, is there like a backstory to the game? It's kind of a joke, and somebody went, yeah, as just for a laugh said this, and that's now, yeah, that's what it is.
You might notice that you can never interact with humans. You can lick them and touch them, and they will go instantly limp.
We're still talking about Goat Simulator, right?
I'm talking about the Goat Simulator, not Breezy.
Yeah, that's just literally somebody went, is there a backstory? And somebody said,
and there's more story in the next patch, 1.1.
More story than that. That's kind of funny, actually.
I don't know. Whatever.
That is literally just somebody trying to put backstory into something that doesn't even need.
Right. That's what it is.
Whoever thought that is actually pretty clever and funny, and because it looks like it's just a forum post.
Yeah, it's I don't know if I want to call it clever or funny, because it's just like it's like a knee-jerk reaction, that comment.
It's not even that. It's
right?
just it's clearly somebody was just. Oh, it's a fan theory. Okay, no, that explains everything.
Okay.
That's subtext the internet. That's all you need to know about that.
All right, how about that Dinosaur game? We haven't heard anything from that in a while, and I'm kind of interested to see how this turns out. They say that it's going to be some version of it's going to be released later this month, and it will cost $25.
Was this the one where you had to like craft and it was like
Yes.
Daisy dinosaurs?
That is this one, yes. I think I have some video. Built on
I do
Unreal.
love dinosaurs.
Hmm?
I do love dinosaurs.
And you get to ride them in this one. They're like pets of a sort, I guess.
Yeah. I would point out that dinosaurs and humans went around at the same time, but let's not go into that.
If I lose my torch, can't I just craft another one? And basically, if you lose your torch in a cave, start calling for help, because you can't.
Start screaming.
That's what it says. There will eventually be some custom map making.
Custom dinosaurs.
Map
Yeah,
making.
Rex from Toy Story. Rah!
I kind of wonder if I should go with the early access, just so I can jump on board with this and see if I like it.
I just don't. I mean, it could be fun, but me, I'm done pre-ordering things. I refuse.
Caves are a key component to gameplay, especially in PvP.
Okay.
May 30th on Steam, yep. I have some Steam credit to use if I want. Maybe I will. We'll see.
See, all I want to do is just make a Jurassic Park mod of that.
A good one, not a point and click.
Not a point and click one.
Like whoever that was. I forget the company. Well, we still have some issues going on with GameSpy. People are still just realizing, oh, GameSpy is shutting down.
Oh, Jesus.
So we have Star Wars, that's complaining about it. I think we have other EA games like Battlefield servers that are complaining about it. Is that actually in this topic list? No, I didn't put it in.
Empire at War and Battlefront 2. Which, you know what, you really shouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's like complaining that, you know, oh, my MySpace account isn't there anymore.
Yeah, oh. Oops. Like here, EA is still investigating workarounds for GameSpy. That's another thing.
Yeah, in other words, you know, they built it into the game when they originally released it, and now GameSpy is no longer really a thing. I mean, I guess it's a good pro game development tip that if you can help it, don't use a third-party server browser software.
Listen to this. EA is still investigating community-supported options to preserve online functionality for games like Battlefield 2, 1942, and Medal of Honor Allied Assault, and Command & Conquer games. That says to me they're looking to mods to make online play work.
Please help us.
EA is doing this.
Oh.
All right. Well, good luck.
I hope they figure out something, just because, like, you know, Battlefield 2, it's kind of cool that people are still playing that.
I don't know. I liked it for a while, and then it became elitist, and I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't go back and play it.
Rovio, the guys who brought you Angry Birds, is apparently trying to
sell some other shit.
Well, you remember Flappy Bird? The game that was so popular that they sold the phones for $1,000 just because when it was pulled off the market, they would sell the phone because they had the game on it.
Is this like Flappy Planes?
Yeah, sort of. It's sort of like that, except the plane can go around and everything. Well, Rovio actually has another level 11 is another like company that they have, an offshoot that they can throw these games out on and not have to hurt their Angry Birds revenues. Yeah, so you're a plane and you're trying to fly your plane. Don't hit the wall, and you have to try again if you do.
Whenever you show a gameplay trailer, don't get somebody to play it who's terrible.
You don't want to see everyone having to retry? Because that's really what the game's about. It's failure.
Like, I want to see the good person playing it so that I can get a feel for, oh, you know, I can be that good.
Well, the name of it's called Retry for a reason.
Yeah.
They actually name it.
Yeah, retry.
You lose, is basically what they're saying. Well, we'll see how that works with their bottom line.
It'll probably sell like 6 billion copies of it. Because you gotta have something to play when you're shitting. Otherwise, it's just time you're not getting back.
And I guess this new Oculus thing is not a good game to play while you're, as you say.
Is he literally lying on a thing with a fan in his face? Is that what's happening?
He is laying on something which is a giant controller that makes it so he can pretend that he's flying while wearing the Oculus with a fan in front of him so he can feel the breeze going on. And I didn't see this anywhere, but apparently it also emits smells so that I don't know what it smells like. Yeah. You
know what's a really good like flight simulator like this? Right, what you do is you go up to a really tall building and you just jump off. There's not much replayability though.
It's called LSD.
Yeah.
And then when you watch this video, you have to really jump into it to see anything worthwhile. But then you start seeing them play the game, and you're like, well, who modeled that? It's like obvious that you're not even there. They could have taken a flight simulator that looked more realistic.
It looks like it was modeled by somebody that's never been outside before. Oh, and he's like flapping his wing. Oh my god.
Yeah, you have to flap your wings. This is how hurting they are to figure out what to do with the Oculus.
Yeah, literally. They're that strapped for ideas.
Yeah.
That they just keep coming up with gimmicky Oh, you know what would be really cool, right? Is if you can like fly around and pretend to be a bird. The worst part is there's nobody going, no, that's a ridiculous idea. Why? Why?
No, next thing you'll know, we'll see that Carmack leaves Oculus to join on with Birdly.
It'll still be a ridiculous flying simulator, but it'll run like the best game you've ever. It'll be so optimized.
Yeah, there won't be any lag at all.
Fuck me. But you're right. It's literally like they're not even scraping the barrel anymore. They're like trying to look under the barrel to see what's like dripped out onto the floor.
Yep.
It's just literally, this is just a perfect example of how useless this really is. And it's sad because everybody jumped on it and was like, oh, this is going to be the next thing. And, you know, get one now because you got to get the dev kit now because it's going to, you know, you got to get on it. It's going to be the next thing. And now this is like, so I got this dev kit and I don't really know what to do with it. Well, I suppose Facebook's purchase of it really doesn't help. Because that's literally made a lot of people go, yeah, no.
No. I know. That really put a line in the sand.
Yeah. Because if I was developing something for Oculus, I would be pretty much done. The second that, I'd just be like, no. I don't trust Facebook. I don't like what they're going to possibly do with it.
All right, here's somebody that says they've invented a game playing soccer that actually makes it fun and better.
What?
Yeah, now it's a fun. It's called Super Bowl.
How is playing soccer not fun?
Apparently.
Genre FPS G. First-person sports game. In the old typical ball game, you only controlled one player at a time. Strategic movement was hardly possible because the CPU was doing most of the work. At the same time, the accuracy of your passes and shots was imprecise and often frustrating. We are now taking it to the next level and putting you right on the pitch, into a mix of first-person shooter and football. Now you have total control over everything. The shots and passes go exactly where you want them to go. The positional play is all in your hands.
What are they talking about?
Every player in the game is a human being. So the amount of strategies and tactics you can develop with your team are endless. You decide how you want to play without any limitation.
Can I decide not to play?
Super Bowl.
They've solved it.
No. I don't understand the first part of it, where they're like, it's unprecise and all the CPUs do it. What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It just doesn't work. I understand.
It's like the only football game they've ever played. What was it? Total Soccer. Look that up. Google that right now. That's a fun fact for you. That was basically like a top-down like soccer game that didn't have the licenses for anything.
But it sounds like it would work.
Ah, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. But you know, your CPU's got it all wrong. It's not fun because of that.
That's just literally gibberish.
And you can't aim. How can you aim? You can't aim playing those games.
I'm fairly sure EA would disagree with you in that they release the same. It's granted it's the same game every year, but you can aim. You you don't have to play as the person with the ball. You can play it. There's this guy over here, and there's tactics to it. Like you're just talking shit. To make it, what that is like make up science to just sell something.
All right.
See, there was adverts where it's like, normal household cleaners only kill 69% of bacteria. Ours does that. Well, clearly that's fine. Because we're not all dropping dead. Well, ours does 99%. Right, but clearly it's okay with the like 69%. Because
Yep. My brother doesn't clean, and he's alive.
yeah. And like the thing about, there's more bacteria in your when the toilet, and right, but clearly that's also fine as well.
It's a death trap in there. Oh, all right. We could do one or two more topics if you want. Just randomly select them from the list below.
No.
I put the next one on there, but I don't know if it's really good for the show. It has to do with what the future. It's what Fox is doing on TV, which is ridiculous. This right here is a cartoon, I guess, for kids. I don't know when this airs. Fox ADHD.
Living in the future? Welcome to the year 2055. Wowee, it sure is neat. Flying cars, nanotechnology, the singularity, and cultured meat for everyone. Was what we thought the future would be like.
But then they got that 69% bacteria killer.
Look, there's little Johnny now. Don't worry, that dog has no teeth, but he still has rabies, so don't let him gut ya. What happened to make the future so futuristic? Maybe it was a combination of climate change, wearing down the ice caps, economic collapse, destroying international trade. Antibiotics became useless, just as robber barons retreated to sky-high towers. Resource wars poisoned the water supply, and a generation raised on likes and shares had no coping mechanism. Christ came back, and then he left again. Also, there was a pretty big earthquake in everywhere. But that's the past. This is the future. So, how do you eat in the future? Why? Future food comes in fancy furry packages. It's fresh as can be. You open it with a knife.
I don't hear any of this.
Because
you don't hear it?
Doesn't get
no, it keeps cutting in and out.
Oh, all right.
Remember cars?
It's that bad connection you have on Skype.
Totally different than the ones today. They don't go anywhere. They're like homes, and 3 or 4 people can defend them for shelter.
Well, then it turns into like a Walking Dead commercial.
Future. Windows are a thing of the past, and the newest fad is
the gist I get is it's Fox News, and they'll just blame the government and video games.
Well, don't blame the government, just blame the Republicans.
Oh, those, yeah.
Relationships of the future are a lot less complicated than they are today. Desperate for any kind of connection, people will sleep with anyone. Beggars can't be choosers, and we're all beggars in 2055.
They'll sleep with anything.
Shoes. It's all about shoes.
And it's all about shoes. Everyone wants shoes.
Just ask that guy. Or don't. He may be dead. Yup, dead. Wow. The future is an exciting place. Yeah,
all right. Cars are no longer cars because they don't run. They're homes that you have to defend with your life. All right. Anyway, you go on. You get it. Okay. Anything else in there you want to throw at it? Meh.
There's one topic, but I'd rather wait until everybody's here.
Okay.
This one. If you see me
cursor. Oh, okay.
Because that's like an hour conversation by
I
itself.
feel like I talked about... No, that's right. I was going to and never did. Yeah, that is a... That's a tough one.
Wait, no. Car Mechanic Simulator. The 4x4 expansion. Oh my god.
There is an expansion for the Car Mechanic Simulator, which we liked so much that Welshie and I bought it and played it after the show.
No, me and you played the demo. Breezy bought it.
Oh, something like that. That's right. Which was interesting. I'm glad I
found out an important life lesson. I'm not a mechanic.
Maybe this add-on will help. You can work on 4x4s now.
Work on the 4x4s now, yeah.
All right. Enjoy that, people. I'm going to wrap things up. Say something nice to your mom. Everyone out there. In the U.S. Because it's a special day.
That was pretty much just like, hey, say hi to your mum for me.
No,
in my mind, that's what that was.
No.
Say hi to your mum. I'll see you later.
That's sick. Okay. I want to thank our host.
Say hi to your mum. I'll see you later.
I want to thank our host for taking the time out to chat. Thank you, Welshie.
It's always fun. Like there's nobody here and there's nobody here. At this point, it's basically like you're talking to your like conscience, but you don't have one, and it's like I'm like there's some sort of weird devil version.
My conscience agrees with me.
Start fires. They'll never know it was you.
How can they? You weren't here. Okay. I guess next week will be a whole nother thing. I know that Strider won't be around next week, but we should find the other guys by then, I hope.
Mm.
And I have the ending that I wanted to play last week, but the audio crashed, so I'm going to get to play it this week. And I'm not supposed to be showing that. I'm supposed to be showing something else, so what I'll show is the ending here. It's somewhere. It's called MODSonair Closer. All right. So everyone, have a great week. Maybe you want to pre-order some games. If they're any good.
Don't do it.
Do it. No one will.
Don't do it.
See ya.
Thanks for watching this week, and come back next week when we will broadcast another live show. Details for this and all past episodes can be found at MODSonair.com. We welcome your feedback via email at mailbag@modsonair.com. And please consider subscribing to modsonline.com to support our show. The opinions expressed by individuals on this program are not necessarily the opinions of our sponsors, owners, or partners.
Alright, so maybe Welshie can hear this one. The unluckiest man ever to survive. And this is supposed to be based on fact.
Meet Frane Selak, an elderly music teacher from Croatia, and depending on how you look at it, either the world's unluckiest or the world's luckiest person to ever live. His unbelievable yet true story begins on a cold winter's day in 1962. Traveling from Sarajevo to Dubrovnik, a fault with the line caused his train to jump the track and plunge into the freezing river below. While other passengers were killed in the crash or drowned in the sinking wreckage, suffering a broken arm, Frane managed to escape and swim to shore. Little did Frane know at the time that this incident marked the beginning of a series of bizarre events that would occur over the next 40 years.
I can. I can hear the first part of it.
The following year, while traveling aboard a small plane,
well, he was on a train, and the train went off. Everyone died but him. He broke an arm.
Mid-flight, both engines stopped.
So later, he gets on a plane. Not like recently later, like years later.
You might have thought this was probably the worst thing that could have happened, but you'd be wrong. While the plane plummeted towards the ground,
so the plane plummets.
Door blew off, and poor Frane was sucked
and he gets sucked out the back door.
Tumbling through the air without a parachute, Frane must have thought he was
no parachute.
But while the plane crashed into the side of a hill,
plane crashes, blows up, everyone's dead.
Frane somehow managed to land in a haystack.
He lands in a haystack and lives.
Another 2 years went by before Frane's next brush with death.
2 years later.
This time, while traveling by bus,
he's on a bus. Let's try a bus.
Caused the wheels to lock up, and the vehicle slid through the safety guard.
So in other words, do not go anywhere with this.
Right. The bus crashes over a bridge.
This guy
Frane lives.
Terrified of public transport.
Like
Frane began
Miss Marple. Don't ever go to a dinner party with Miss Marple.
So now he's in his own car.
His car engine burst into flames.
His car engine bursts into flames.
It exploded.
And he jumps out and it explodes.
Later, in 1973,
a few years later, he tries again.
The car ruptured, causing another engine.
This time, it explodes again, except on the inside of the car instead of the outside.
He survived this too.
He loses his hair, but
he began with. In
it's
1995, he survived being hit by a bus.
Then he gets hit by a bus.
In 1996, a careless truck driver
fell
off the side of a mountain road.
A truck driver makes him fall off the edge of a road.
And exploded in a ball.
And his car goes down and it explodes. But he happened to jump out the window just before it hits and grab a tree.
To a tree some way down the cliff face. Now, Frane's story might have ended there.
It's not over.
Since then, Frane hasn't been involved in any other death-defying incidents. However, there is one last twist to this man's incredible story. In 2003, at the age of 72, Frane bought a lottery ticket.
He buys a lottery ticket.
Over 40 years.
And hits it.
He won.
All 5 numbers.
Safely securing his place as the luckiest unlucky person to ever live.
So throughout his entire life, he almost dies. Several occasions. He says, that's it, I'm never driving, never getting in another vehicle or anything again. And wins the lottery. All right, everyone. Happy Mother's Day, and enjoy the weather as it gets more spring-like. Well, you're in Vancouver. Okay.
Yeah. It looks kind of warm outside at the moment.
All right, everyone. Take care. Broadcasting
Laters.
ending.